Our learning target today, I will be able to evaluate equivalent ratios involving totals using proportions. Given the problem, Mrs. Gamlin and Miss O'Mara were grading papers at a ratio of 4 to 5. If they together graded 180 papers, how many papers did Miss O grade? Those are the key points that I need to pull from this problem. Step 1, we're going to make a table of information, and we're going to make sure that we have labels. So I've already created this table based on the word problem to show you how it is made. So I label over here Mrs. Gamlin, Miss O'Mara. The ratio was 4 to 5, and then to total those I add 4 plus 5 and get 9. I'm using an MG to represent Miss Gamlin, an MO for Miss O'Mara, and the 180 comes from the problem for the total amount of papers they both graded. Second step, you're going to set up a proportion using the necessary information. Since I need Miss O'Mara's information, I need this pulled out of the problem, and since I need the total, I need this part. So I'm going to pull those pieces out of the problem, out of the table, and create my proportion. Proportions are two ratios that are set equal to each other in fraction form. Step 3, I'm going to cross multiply to solve. I'm going to shorten Miss O'Mara's abbreviation up here from MO to just an M down here into my proportion before I cross multiply. I just want one variable. So the first thing I'm going to do to solve this, I'm going to circle the two numbers that are along the diagonal, and I'm going to put that into a multiplication problem. I'm going to set that equal to the other side of the diagonal that only has a number and a variable. Now I'm going to multiply 180 times 5. I get 900. I'm still going to set that equal to the 9m. Now 9 times m, or 9 and m, that's a multiplication problem, 9 times m. In order to solve this, I'm going to have to divide by the number that's attached to the variable. I'm going to cancel the 9's with the variable because 9 divided by 9 is 1, so I'm left with m. And I'm going to divide 900 by 9. 9 goes into 9 once. Bring down the 0. 9 does not go into 0. Put a 0 up. Bring the next 0 down. 9 does not go into 0. The answer is 100. So Miss O'Mara graded 100 papers. So I'm going to put that information up in my table. Now, even though the problem does not ask how many papers I grade, if I take 180 minus 100, I can easily find the amount of papers I graded. Okay, given this next problem, we are given the ratio of girls to boys at a summer camp, 9 to 8. So I have already started the table for you, girls, boys, and total. Girls are 9 and boys are 8 in the ratio. If the total number of campers at the camp is 204, how many girls are attending the camp? So I'm going to put the 204 in the total. I'm going to add the 9 plus 8 to get 17. And I'm going to put some variables in these boxes. Now this question asked about the girls, so I need this information and I need this information. Once you circle those pieces of information from the table, now you can easily create your ratio or your proportion and then solve it. It will come right out of the table if you've done things correctly. So I put 9 over 17 equals G over 204. So now I'm going to cross multiply. So 204 times 9 equals 17 times G. 204 times 9. 9 times 4 is 36. Carry the 3. 9 times 0 plus 3 is 3. 9 times 2 is 18. 1,836 equals 17G. I'm going to now divide both sides by the 17 to solve for G. 17 divided by 17 equals 1, so I'm left with just G. And 1,836 divided by 17. 17 does not go into 1. 17 goes into 18 one time. Bring down the 3. 17 does not go into 13. Put a 0 up to bring down the 6. 17 into 136 is 8. And I have 108 girls. Going back up to fill in the table, 108 girls. Again, even though the problem does not ask how many boys, I can find that by subtracting 204 and 108. 14 minus 8 is 6. 9 minus 0 is 9. 96 boys. This last problem, I have left a blank table for us to fill in together to see how it comes from the problem into the table. George bought chocolates and candies in the ratio of 2 to 3. So chocolates, candies, 2 to 3. If the total bought was 360, how many candies were bought? So I should have chocolate, candies, total. Chocolate ratio is 2 to candies of 3. If I add those, I get 5. And I know the total was 360. Now, since these both have a C for candy and chocolate, I'm going to use an H and an A for the initials. And using those for my variables. So, I'm focused on the candies, not on the chocolate. So I'm using 3 to 5 equals A to 360. Cross multiply. 360 times 3 equals 5 times A. 360 times 3. 3 times 0 is 0. 3 times 6 is 18. Carry the 1. 3 times 3 plus 1 is 10. 1,080 equals 5A. We're going to divide both sides by 5. We'll be left with A. And now we need to divide 1,080 divided by 5. 5 does not go into 1. 5 goes into 10 twice. Bring down the 8. 5 goes into 8 once. 5 into 30, 6 times. $216 candies are sold. To find out the chocolate, even though the question does not ask you, I'm going to subtract. I need to borrow. 10 minus 6 is 4. 5 minus 1 is 4. 3 minus 2 is 1. 144 chocolates.